All right, we've got a little player interview here with Courtney. Carter is a 2007 MLS Next player within the club. Carter's actually lives in the Downingtown area, and really, what we're going to do tonight is just talk about Carter's path throughout the club, from start to present, and then just some little questions of advice for other players in the club that are looking to develop through our pathway and become successful players just the same as Carter. So Carter, thanks for jumping on with me here. If you could, why don't you just give us a little background on where you started within the club and where you're at now?
So I started in U9 in the Downingtown side. I was on Arsenal. And after that year, I worked my way up to Barca for U10.
Okay.
Went to the
So
state
just real quick, Carter, just so people know, Barca and Arsenal is the equivalent of black and white. So the Barca team was our equivalent of our black team, Arsenal the equivalent of our white teams in previous years, just so
Yeah.
everybody else knows.
So as I said, I started on Arsenal, which is white team.
Mhm.
And then worked my way up to black team, which was I was on there for about 2 years. So I stayed in Downingtown on the black team for about 2 years. And then in U12, I switched to Conshohocken for the development academy, which is now MLS Next. And I've been on there ever since.
Okay. And who are some of the coaches that you've had along the way?
Um, Matt Chris, Bobby Sutcliffe, um, uh, Greg, Coach Greg,
Was it Greg?
Kevin Wolf, Graver, uh, and Doug Hess.
Okay. Very cool. So tell me, you obviously, so you started at a second level team, right? And I think most young players, their objective is they want to continue to move up along the way.
Yeah.
So for you, what are things that you focused on that have helped you continue to progress? Not just from Arsenal to Barca, or Barca to the pre-DA, which is what it was before, and
Yeah.
now to an MLS team. What are some things that you've really focused on to help you?
Just really trusting the process, trusting the coaches, your pathway to progressing as a player, uh, and really just working hard. It's the bottom line to it.
Okay. So tell me what you mean when you say trusting the process. What is that in more detail? What does that mean?
I just focus on the present and let that depict the future. So just taking every day, day by day, practice by practice, game by game.
Okay. I like that. And that's when we first spoke a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
That was, I think, the big comment that, I had some things in mind of what I thought you might say. And I thought that was a really interesting perspective on it because you can't change the past, you can't predict the future, but you can control what you do today.
Yeah. And
Right.
let
And
today pick the
what's
future. And let today depict the future.
100%, right? And you can't, again, you can't control where you're going to get to, but the hope is if you do enough of the right things today, it'll eventually lead to those things in the future.
Yeah.
Cool. So if you are a young player now, right, U9, U10, maybe even U8, we have a lot of young teams now. We have
Yeah.
kids in pre-travel. If you're a young player in the club and now as an MLS Next player who's done very well, what would you suggest to them? What kind of advice would you give them?
I'd just first say enjoy it. That'd be the big thing. Enjoy it before it becomes too much. Uh, and really working hard and doing more than what everyone else is doing. So maybe it's like after practice, doing runs or hitting some extra shots. The extra work really counts.
Okay. So you obviously are fortunate, like me, you live in a house of three, right? Three
Yeah.
brothers. I had two older brothers. You have an older brother and younger brother. What kind of advantages has that given you as a player, thinking about, the extra touches and things like that? What have you and your brothers done to help each other?
Really learning from them and like it's kind of a competitive environment around my house. So even like outside, it's maybe a tennis soccer game, but we take it like it's a World Cup final. So being really competitive, I think having a little competitive edge to you is really important.
For sure, right? You're out there, you're competing for a result, right? We obviously focus, like you had said about focusing on the present in the club. We talk a lot about focus on the performance, the result will come, and within that, obviously we want to win, we want to be successful, we want to meet our goals, things like that. But I think it's important to note. So have you ever done any kind of like group or private training or anything like that? Or have you only ever trained just you by yourself with the ball, you and your brothers, maybe you and your dad, like what kind of extra training outside of practice have you done? And I asked because you made the comment before about doing the extra little things. So like what extra little things have you done?
Maybe it's going in my garage and getting 100 passes each foot. Maybe it's going to the field, doing a couple drills. Maybe it's today I went to a field, did some training with my friends. So, and it's all fun. So getting better and having fun. There's nothing better than that.
Good. I like it. Favorite professional team?
Man United, come on.
Oh, we can't talk about that today. It was a rough morning, wasn't it?
Yeah, very rough.
Favorite professional player?
Uh right now I'd probably edge it to Casemiro. Not biased, but I just like the way he plays.
Because you played the six just like Casemiro does. And I would
Yeah.
say you play it in a very similar manner, right? Very aggressive, very physical. You're a great leader like he is.
Yeah.
You lead by example more than anything. And I think he does the same and plays with a boatload of passion. So it would make sense that would be a guy that you would really kind of watch and want to emulate.
Yeah.
How about favorite all-time Man United player?
Roy Keane.
Roy Keane, of course. Again, another center midfielder.
He's Irish.
Right. The Courtneys are Irish. Roy Keane's Irish. I like that. Okay.
Maybe
How about favorite Union player?
Win Sullivan.
Oh, okay. Right. And tell us why, because I think I know why, but tell us why you like Quinn.
Just he's a great kid off the field, so and he's a good mentor towards
Okay.
me.
And how did you meet him?
I play with his brothers, so
Right. So his twin brothers play with you currently, and then his youngest brother, Kevin, plays for the Union now, but you guys used to play together as well, right?
yeah.
Very cool. Very cool. Well, Carter, thank you for taking the time. Obviously, this will hopefully be something that hits home with a couple of our club players, some of the younger kids. Hopefully it'll be something they listen to and really can kind of take and let it resonate. And hopefully there's another Carter Courtney, somewhere out there that'll come through the club and, be an admirer of the Roy Keanes of the world and the Casemiros, but hopefully with a better hairstyle than you. I wasn't going to let that one slip away.
Hey, I have hair.
You do have hair. Touche, buddy. Touche. I appreciate your time, Carter. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, AK.